Hi everyone, I'm Rita Lavon and welcome to my channel at Love Build Share. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in, and if you're not already a subscriber, I ask that you click on the red box in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, and also don't forget to follow me on social media. My Facebook and my Instagram page is in the description box below. Today's video is going to be a heart-to-heart. And I'm smiling because these videos mean so much to me because I am sharing things that are near and dear to my heart that I want to get out in the world. So with that being said, today's video is going to be about being mindful of who you tell your business to in relationships and marriage. And this video was actually inspired by someone named Mona. Her name on social media, or at least on Instagram, her name is Don't Call Me a White Girl, and she has a podcast by the same name. And I saw this clip of a video of her some time ago, and I found it again recently, and I saved it, and I'm going to link it in the description box, and I'm also going to tag her to give her credit for it. But in the video, she essentially was speaking of women who have started drama in their own lives, from the sense of having some type of argument or, altercation with their man, and then going to tell, family, friends, whomever, basically just, men who live a particular lifestyle. And those men then in return go and start some type of drama with the person that the woman is speaking of. And in the end, people end up getting hurt because of it. And my video is not going to be like that extensive as far as like, leading to someone getting hurt. But I did want to talk about how just people in general, not even just women, because it can be, across all genders, but how when you are in a relationship or a marriage, and how when you walk outside of that relationship and you tell people what's going on and there's a negative impact because of it. So when I say that, I mean that if you as a person are having some type of disagreement, argument, with your significant other. And when I say that, I don't mean anything, abusive. So I'm not speaking of any type of physical, mental, emotional, psychological, whatever. No type of, abuse. I'm speaking of just, any type of, disagreement or argument that you may have on a regular basis. And because of that, you then go and tell family and friends. And that's where the problem starts. Because what happens in your relationship or marriage should stay there. As long as it's not any type of abuse, it needs to stay there. And you need to talk it out with your significant other. Because when you start telling other people, you don't know who those people are going to tell. And then before you know it, your business is out here in the streets. And it's going to have a negative impact, especially in terms of like, some type of gathering. If you told a family member something and then you and your significant other have now made up after this has happened, and your significant other may be at a gathering, and then a, family member says something sideways, and your significant other doesn't know where it came from because that person wasn't aware that you had went and told somebody, and now you have a problem on your hands. Speaking on this topic also made me think about someone by the name of Dana Chanel. I'm going to also link a video that she did where she talked about not gossiping about your husband. And I thought that it was really great. The words that she used and how she described it were phenomenal. And as a wife, I just absolutely loved it. And it's something that can be used for either a husband or a wife. And she talked about a marriage being sacred, which it is. And when you are a part of something sacred, you don't involve outsiders. So you don't involve other people. Your family and friends have their titles that they hold, but their title is not more important than your spouse. They are the person that you are building with and that you want to honor, and you want to honor your marriage. And you do that by keeping the things in your marriage between you two. And again, this is not in terms of abuse, because I know that when people speak of like this, people always like to say, well, what about the woman or man who's getting abused? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about two people who are in a marriage and who want their marriage to work. And the best way to make it work is by going directly to your spouse if something is wrong, if something has happened, because you always go to the source, and you two together making the decision of what's the best thing to do, of what's the next step to take, because that's a part of marriage. You're doing it as a unit. You're in a union. You have a partner. And that's one of the most beautiful things about marriage, is being able to make decisions with that person. And also along the lines of this could be that when you gossip about your spouse, you allow people to disrespect your marriage when you do that. We shouldn't allow people to joke about our marriage or joke about our spouse. I've said before in another video, there is always some truth to jokes. Everything isn't funny. Plain and simple, black and white, cut and dry. Everything isn't funny. And a marriage is serious. If you struggle in this department, my first suggestion would be to go to your spouse, because you need to speak with them about what is going on and how it is affecting you. I would also suggest talking to God. I would also suggest praying and covering your marriage. Because if your significant other is going out gossiping, or if you are going out gossiping, you are letting things come into your marriage and your household that are not good. And you need to make sure that you are praying to cover your marriage, to cover your home, to cover whatever problem it is that you're having, because it's serious and you want to make sure that you can get it handled. And also, I would say marriage counseling, couples therapy. I mean, whatever it is that you need to do to get on the right path, I would highly suggest doing that and not being embarrassed by having to get that type of help. It is completely fine. Those type of resources are there for that particular reason. Because what you don't want to happen is to have some type of he said, she said argument because you've went outside your marriage to talk about things. When I talked about covering your marriage, I was especially speaking of people who don't understand marriage, who've never been married, who don't want to be married, and they don't know how to respect your marriage. That's really important, because jealousy is real, and you never know who may have some type of ill will towards you or toward your spouse. You know, people try to disguise themselves so often as, you know, the best person ever, when in the background they are, you know, secretly, you know, preying on you and preying on your downfall of you and your spouse and your marriage. So covering your marriage means praying as much as you can that you and your spouse stay safe in whatever type of circumstance, because you want to be married forever. You want to be married to the love of your life. You want to be able to be an example to everyone. Or at least I do. That's just me. I'm putting my 2 cents in there because I am an advocate for marriage. I am a wife myself. It is something that I hold in such a high regard. I absolutely love it. It means the world to me. And, you know, having people say that they look up to me and that they want to be like me, or, you know, be like my husband, that means a lot to me, because I know that we are trying our best to live right in life, and that's important to me. It truly is. Being a good example, being a good role model, and, you know, being a good steward, you know, that's also something that I definitely want to be. You know, the service that we have here on earth, you know, to spread good and to be good. That means a lot to me. So there's so many ways that I can take this topic, but I think I've said enough for now. And while you are here and before you go, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe so that I can get this message out in the world. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook and on Instagram. Those links are in the description box below, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye-bye.